Hello and good morning. Holly Shields here live from Kalkine Studio in Sydney, and you're watching the Early Trades, a show where we share with you a glimpse of the Australian share market opening trade scene along with the global and domestic drivers triggering market momentum. First up, we'll be having a look at how the early morning trades panned out, taking cues from Wall Street action overnight, and then the prominent newsmakers grabbing headlines during the early trade hours, before diving into the movement seen in crypto, crude oil, gold and metal indices. So to kick it off, well, the Aussie share market opened high today despite Wall Street ending last week on a subdued note. The ASX 200 opened the week 0.58% up as 10 of 11 sectors were in the green over the last week, along with the ASX 200 index. Although little has changed, consumer staples today's is the best performing sector as well. On the 24th of September, the broader Australian market entered in red, while the ASX 200 fell 0.40% and the ASX 200 declined by 0.37% as well. One company, Eagers Automotive, will be going ex-dividend today. But for those of you who are not aware of that, ex-dividend is used to describe a stock that's trading without the value of the next dividend payment. Moving on now, the top gainers of the day on the ASX pack during the opening trade include names like Redbubble, Mineral Resources, Beach Energy, Lynas Rare Earths and Iluka Resources. Meanwhile, the bottom performing stocks are NextDC, Perseus Mining, Gold Road Resources, CSL and Blackmores. Wall Street has remained under pressure throughout the last week as Chinese real estate giant Evergrande Group was on the brink of a major default. Plus, the US Federal Reserve's sooner than expected timeline for stimulus tapering also weighed on the markets. Earlier last week, the Federal Reserve had said that it was withdrawing its bond buying program by November, which may follow an interest rate hike. The S&P 500 was up 0.15%, while the Dow Jones rose 0.10% similarly. The Nasdaq Composite fell 0.03% and the small cap Russell 2000 was down 0.49% as well. Moving on now, let's have a quick glance at the highlights of the prominent ASX shares during the early trade hours. And the first company on our radar is Sigma Healthcare. The pharmaceutical wholesaler and distribution company has initiated a takeover bid for Australian pharmaceutical industries. Under the conditional proposal, APL shares will receive 35 cents in cash and $2.05 Sigma shares for each API share. Following that takeover, API shareholders will own approximately 48.8% stake in the combined company. The share price of Sigma Healthcare was trading at 60 cents during the opening trades. Next up, Metalhawk, the West Australian mineral exploration company's shares on the ASX will be placed under a trading halt from today. The securities will remain in a trading halt until the 29th of September at the earliest. Management is set to release an announcement regarding the material exploration results from its Bearhaven nickel project. While the share price of Metalhawk was trading at 52 cents during the opening trades. Meanwhile, the next company, Limeade, the employee experience software firm, received a notice of contract termination from American Airlines. This termination, should it be reversed, will come into effect from the 1st of January 2022. The contracted annual recurring revenue associated with that contract is $1.9 million. And with that, the share price of Limeade was trading at 70 cents during the opening trades. Meanwhile, Silex Systems, the laser enrichment tech company, has announced an equity raising plan of approximately $33 million through an institutional placement. A $7 million capped share purchase plan will also be offered to eligible shareholders, and the funds will be used for working capital, scale-up of zero-spin silicon production capacity, development of additional applications of the Silex tech, etc. The share price of Silex Systems was trading at $1.40 during the opening trades. And next up, Castillo Copper. the base metal explorer, Castillo has requested the ASX to put its shares under trading halts from today. The securities will remain in a trading halt until the 29th of September or when it's announced the release of the market. Management is set to release an announcement regarding the option to acquire 2 material exploration projects. And with that, the share price of Castillo Copper was trading at 0.032 cents during the opening trades. Now for a look at the movement seen in cryptocurrency, bond yields, crude oil, gold and metals indices. Starting with the futures and commodities, gold futures were up 0.03%, while silver decreased by a solid 1.21%. Meanwhile, copper rose a similar 1.20% as well. ASX-listed gold stocks like Northern Star Resources were seen trading in the green during the early trades, whereas Newcrest Mining was also trading higher during the opening trades today. Meanwhile, Brent oil futures increased by 1.04% and WTI was up as well 0.93%. Energy stocks like Woodside Petroleum were trading higher during the early trades, and Santos edged higher as well during the early trade hours today. Looking at the bond market, and the 30-year Treasury bond yields were up 3.15%, while the 10-year bond yields rose 3.02%. US dollar futures index increased by 0.27% as well. Well, having said that, that is all for now in the early morning trades. But stay tuned to Kalkine TV for more live market updates as we have many more shows lined up for you. Holly Shields signing off.